The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Climate change is at the front of our minds, as it is creating many serious and damaging effects to the environment and wildlife species. Around the world, young people are learning about climate change and taking action. In fact, young people are some of the most important voices in the climate movement because you can inspire powerful people to create a better future for you. Teaching children about conservation and its important role in the future of our world is an excellent step in the right direction. Thousands of learners in Kenya rarely have access to education that empowers them to be stewards of their environment. At Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, the Lewa Conservation Education Center, which was developed with young learners in mind, strives to cultivate the next generation of conservation leaders. This is accomplished by broadening students' understanding of ecological intricacies and inspiring young people to address the most critical environmental concerns affecting their communities. This is Ephantus Mugo. He heads the Lewa Conservation Education Program, where he educates students and their teachers to conserve the environment. On today's episode of TV47 Wildlife, Ephantus will take us through the Conservation Education Center and the tools he uses to teach the students who come here.
Well, welcome to Lewa, and more specifically to the Conservation Education Center. This is one of the rooms that we use to communicate conservation education lessons to the students when they visit the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy. And it's a program that is not too old, though the students have been requesting to come to Lewa in the past. And the idea was just to come, see wildlife, get fun, be happy, and go home. And Lewa questioned itself on what message are the students really taking home when they just come to Lewa and visit and just leave. So in 2010, Lewa thought of putting up a structure whereby the students would be engaged in a way that they do not just see wildlife and disappear, but they get to really understand more about the challenges, their habitats, what they really need to do on their own. And this is how this center really came into being. And Lewa launched the Conservation Education Program, which is a program that hosts students from the country. But more specifically, we are focusing on also reaching out to the communities that we're interacting with every day. Lewa benefits the communities in various aspects. We are supporting schools, program in infrastructure, communities through water projects, healthcare. But we really felt that we need to make a connection to the students that when they receive all these benefits from Lewa, they need to have a connection that these benefits are coming from wildlife. So when we invite them to Lewa, we give them a game drive, we are making the connection for them to really appreciate that the wildlife they are enjoying to see is what really helps them get this support that goes to their community. Here in the center, basically, the program is a we learn a day program as well as a residential program for the schools. For the day program, we receive students every day, apart from the weekends, and we host the students on a total of 50, a group of 50 per day. In 1 year, we are able to host 100 groups. And what do the students really do when they come here? We get the students really participate on a game drive. We have a guided game drive. We have 2 educators. So the group of 25 group 50 is divided into 2 groups of 25 each to ensure that we have the educator handling a group of 25 and the other one handling a group of 25. A group starts in the field. One group starts in the field to get the students through wildlife, taking them through the animals, but also helping them create the linkage about the animals, the habitats, and the human activities. And an example is that when we are out there and we are seeing rhinos, we are able to help the students appreciate the beauty of rhinos, but also understand their numbers. Maybe they might think that because they are seeing hundreds here or several here on Lewa, they might think rhinos are so many. So we want them to really realize that it's through the efforts that we have on Lewa that we have these animals easily being visible here. But their numbers worldwide are really declining. So we want them to take a message that they have a joint, they appreciate wildlife, but again their numbers are declining. But we have also need to engage them realize why are they declining? Is it because what can we do? So we help them appreciate about the habitats where these animals live. The habitats need to have food and water and other resources. But in case those resources are affected, then the numbers decline. And most of those factors that lead to the decline may be more driven by human activity. And that is why this center is there to connect the appreciation and the challenges that may be facing the wildlife. And not just the rhinos, but every other animal. And when they leave the field for the game drive, bring them to the center, which I'm going to show you some of the areas that we cover when we are with the students. So enjoy just the few elements that I'm going to show you. And maybe we can start with the most close to us, which is a skull of an elephant. Sometimes almost every group is able to see the elephant. Yes. But again, not every group, or very few, would be lucky to see the teeth. So the reason why we have such an exhibit is not because the group may not be able to see the elephant, but to get an opportunity to appreciate how every animal is different. When they are here, they're able to look at the teeth, they're able to look at the tail, for example. This is the tail. Students are always wondering, is this real? Sometimes they really get wondering whether it is real, yet they saw the elephants. But you realize that when they saw the elephant, they are not focusing on the tail, they are not focusing on the teeth, because they don't even see the teeth. And then you have an opportunity also for them to look at the foot, just here, and the skin, and maybe an ear of an elephant. This is the left ear. Interaction with the students, we realize a lot of things are open to touch, is because we want the students to explore, look at them. Like now, when you are touching that, I don't know whether you realize they have hair. Many people say elephants do not have hair in their skin. But I think it's something that you pick up, but you don't see on the game drive. So when we have the students getting such a close-up interaction, they are able to appreciate things like when the teacher tells them mammals have hair, they're able to really confirm even elephants, we thought they did not have the hair, they really have it. More important is that we want the students really to appreciate some ways the elephants have been built to ensure that they survive in the environment. The big feet, the thick skin, the tusks, they have a value to their environment. One of the concepts that we're always focusing on in this room is to help the students appreciate that every animal is built to live in a specific habitat. And that is why if we lose forests, we lose some animals that depend on the forest. We cannot move all the animals to the grassland if you lose the forest. So we want them to really appreciate these features enable these animals to live in a specific place. The science will tell them these are adaptations. And that is one of the things that we want also to bridge to the understanding of the curriculum. So we have an elephant here, which is some features that we have just talked about. But also we have a lion just in the room. sometimes students come and run away and they don't want to get closer here or even get closer to the lion. We are lucky to have this skin of the lion because this was one of the lions that were alive here in 2014 here on Lewa. It's among one of the main big lions. And we are using it because we want the students, if they are not lucky to see the lion, they are able to come at least understand some of the features. The color, which really blends very well with the grass. The position of the eyes, looking at the teeth, looking at the claws, they're able to at least check on the claws and touch them. I want them to really appreciate that the lion is built to eat meat. So when they see the lion hunting, it's because it is built to eat meat. That understanding really appreciates the role of the lion in the ecosystem, because again, the teacher will tell them about food chain, where these lions depend on the zebras. Zebras depend on the grass, but also lions are sometimes eaten by the hyena. So that food chain understanding, very important, because many people might think we don't need the lions. But maybe some communities say it's really a threat. Yes. It might be a threat, sometimes it might be a challenge. Yes. That is one of the things we are trying to work with the communities to address. But again, if you remove the lions in the environment, what happens? Want the students to realize that the lion's role is to reduce naturally the number of herbivores so that we don't have so much herbivores, because if it happens, we don't have any grass in the environment. So that understanding is really key, so that now we understand how herbivores affect the environment when there are so many. So we are also addressing pastoralists in this case, that when you have so many herbivores, we affect the environment. Yes. But in this case, God, our Creator, ensured that we have animals that reduce the herbivores, and that is why we have that connection.
We'll be back right after this break.